Have you ever had this strange feeling? No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you achieve, some voice inside whispers, you are still not good enough. कभी आपने नोटिस किया है प्रमोशन मिल गया, एग्ज़ाम क्लियर हो गया, लोग आपकी तारीफ भी करते हैं, लेकिन अंदर से एक आवाज़ आती है, बस इतना ही और बेटर कर सकते थे. And the scary part is, most people think this is voice. Most people think that this voice is motivation. But what if I told you this voice is not pushing you forward? It might actually be quietly destroying your confidence. और सबसे शॉकिंग बात, this feeling of not being enough usually don't start in adulthood. It begins much earlier in our childhood. But before we uncover that, let me ask you something honestly. A quick question. If your friend worked as hard as you do and still said, यार मैं इनफ नहीं हूँ, you should probably say, भाई तू पागल है क्या? But when you say the same thing to yourself, suddenly it feels like truth. Strange, right? Why does the mind treat others with kindness but treats itself like an enemy? The answer lies in a hidden psychological pattern. Let me explain to you. Most people who feel not good enough are actually high achievers. They study more, work harder, push themselves constantly. But internally, they feel like they are running a race that never ends. जैसे लाइफ में एक इनविजिबल एग्ज़ाम चल रहा हो और प्रॉब्लम क्या है, पासिंग मार्क्स कभी मिलता ही नहीं, बिकॉज द स्टैंडर्ड कीप्स मूविंग. You achieve one goal, the mind immediately says, good, but not enough. You improve your salary, mind says, others are doing better. You work harder, mind whispers, you should have started earlier. It's like playing a game where the rules keep changing every time. And after years of this, something dangerous happens. You stop feeling proud of yourself. Even success starts feeling empty. But here comes the deeper question, where did this voice come from? Because babies are not born thinking, I am not good enough. Something teaches them this belief, and that brings us to the hidden origin. When we are children, we don't understand the world logically. We understand it emotionally. If patterns were stressed, if teachers compared us, शर्मा जी का बेटे को देखो, और you should do better. A child's mind doesn't process it as advice. Instead, the child concludes something must be wrong with me, because the child understands only emotions. And slowly, a story begins forming in the mind. A silent story that says, I am not enough. And here is the dangerous part. Once the mind believes a story, it starts collecting evidence to prove it every time and again and again and again. Failed an exam? See, I'm not good enough. Relationship issue? Of course, I'm not enough. Small mistake at work? Everyone will find out I'm not capable. This line keeps repeating. Your brain becomes like a biased lawyer trying to prove you guilty. Funny thing, funny thing is, the brain ignores all the evidences that proves the opposite. Promotion, luck, compliment, they are just being nice. They are not meaning it. Success, anyone could have done it. Let me ask you something strange now. Imagine tomorrow your mind went on a vacation for 24 hours. No inner criticism, no comparison. बस एक दिन के लिए छुट्टी. Silence. How different would your life feel? Most people suddenly realize something shocking. They are not the problem. The voice is the real problem. The voice in their mind. But wait, before you blame your mind, there is something important you need to understand. This inner critic did not start as an enemy. Originally, it was a protection mechanism. As a child, the brain thinks, if I become perfect, people will accept me. If I never make a mistake, I won't get rejected. If I achieve more, I will finally feel loved. So the mind creates a strict inner voice, a voice that constantly pushes you. But over time, the protective voice becomes a tyrant. Instead of helping you, it starts draining your energy. And here is the tragedy. People who feel not good enough often achieve more than others. But they enjoy life less than others because they are always chasing the next validation. और फिर लाइफ एक स्ट्रेंज लूप बन जाती है. अचीवमेंट, रिलीफ, सेल्फ डाउट, more achievement. Over and over again. This keeps repeating like a cycle. But what if the solution is not working harder? What if the real solution is something completely different? Let me show you. Your mind created a story about you. But stories are not facts. Let me repeat that. Stories are not facts. If someone tells you a story about a tiger in your room, you will feel fear. But if you turn the lights on और tiger वहाँ हो ही नहीं, fear disappears. The same thing happens with self-worth. The feeling of not enough is usually not reality. It is a story running in the background of your mind. A story written years ago by experiences you barely remember. But once you see it clearly, something powerful happens. You realize you don't have to fight the voice. You just have to stop believing it. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine you're watching a movie and suddenly you realize it's just a movie. Do the emotions disappear completely? Not immediately. But something certainly changes. You are no longer trapped inside the story. You become the observer. And that shift changes everything. How do you begin changing this pattern? Not by forcing positive thinking, that rarely works. Instead, start with awareness. Next time the mind says, I am not good enough, pause and ask yourself one question. Is this a fact or a story? Most of the time, you will realize it's just a story. A story that has been repeating for years. And here is the beautiful part. The moment you question a story, its power starts weakening slowly. Your mind learns something new, that your worth was never based on perfection. Your worth was never based on comparison. Your worth was never based on achievements. You were already enough. Let me be honest. If perfection was required to be lovable, then honestly, no one on this planet would qualify. Not your boss, not your favorite celebrity, not even the person you compare yourself with. Everyone is figuring life out. Everyone is learning. Everyone is imperfect. And that includes you. Imperfection does not mean inadequacy. It means humanity. So, if you have been feeling like you are not good enough, I want you to remember something today. That feeling does not mean it is true. It simply means your mind is repeating an old story. A story that started years ago, but here is the beautiful truth. You are not that child anymore. You are the author now, and authors can rewrite stories. But there is one deeper layer to this. Many people don't realize that the mind actually created a story about them when they were children. A story that silently shapes their confidence, relationships, and decisions even today. If you want to understand how that childhood story was formed and how it still influences your life, watch the next video on your screen. I hope you learned a lot of things today and you will implement them whenever you doubt yourself, whenever there is a negative thought about you in your mind, and change the story from your childhood. My name is Sai Kirtan. Welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, do subscribe and share it with your friends and family. And if you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Thank you. See you in the next video. Namaste. Take care. Have fun and keep smiling. Namaste.